During these weeks of Lent, we've been hearing 3 readings on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th week from Cycle A. That's the current year that we are in. And each one of the readings has to do very much with the ability for us to embrace symbolism that is given to us in our faith. In the first week, we heard about the woman at the well. If you're not really familiar very much with the story or you don't remember it, I invite you to go and meditate for a few moments on the bronze plaque that's all the way in the back of the south colonnade. It's of the woman at the well. Probably one of the most underviewed symbols or plaques, pieces of art in our entire church. Most people don't even know it's there, but it's very beautiful, and you can see the actual scene if you'd like to get that in your mind. Last week, we had the blind man who was cured and the beauty of light. And in that homily last week, I mentioned about how we can have a new vision and about how we can have, we may be able to see things in one way, but hopefully we can have a vision for something else. And specifically about what our gospel is about today, and that is life and death. You see, my friends, we can see death as an ending, or we can have a new vision for it. That death is a passageway, it's going through a doorway into a new life, and that is a life with God. So our gospel reading today from the 11th chapter of John, it's 45 verses, so it's one of those long gospels once again, but very beautifully speaks about that goodness of life. And what does God want for each one of us? He wants us to live, that even when the world sees us as dead, we are alive because we are alive with God. And we have that hope of resurrection. That word hope is very big and very important for us as people of faith in our own lives, to be able to have hope for the future and to not be afraid of death. I think we may have a fear of how death is going to come about, but let's face it, folks, it's something we all have in common. One day we are going to pass from this world into the next, to go through that journey. One of our last places that we stop on this earth is right here in this very spot, in this building. To be able to have our life honored by our loved ones at a funeral, to be able to be prayed for as we journey to heaven. Our gospel today brings a very human side to Jesus because we see that he was perturbed. I don't know if you ever would picture Jesus as being perturbed, but that word really is kind of strong. It means that he was deeply troubled. He was annoyed. And one of the reasons that he was probably perturbed is that he knew he was facing a lot of disbelief. A lot of people who refused to acknowledge him and who he was. He knew he was facing and looking at darkness in the eyes. He was looking into the eyes of evil men and women who did not want to accept him. This is actually a turning point in John's gospel, because from this point forward, it's this journey towards Jerusalem. The signs are almost complete of what he has done, and we now are going to be able to see how he has to face challenges, that some have accepted him for his miracles and all that he has done. But you know, because of evil and darkness, some will never accept. The other point and emotion that we see in Jesus is in verse 35. It is probably one of the shortest verses in all of the scriptures. In all of the Bible, it's 3 words, but it's very meaningful. And Jesus wept. In those 3 simple words, we see the humanity of Christ come out, about how Jesus felt, Jesus loved, Jesus had relationship. So he wept at the death of his friend Lazarus. Or did he really weep for, once again, the unbelief of what was going on? Wept for those who maybe had hearts that were very hard. So this is very human, this is very normal. This situation of everybody converging on Bethany is something that happens in all of our lives, and we're all going to have to converge at some point for the death of a loved one. Now, it's interesting that Jesus waited 4 days to get there. He didn't have that opportunity to travel in an afternoon to be able to be there. It took him 4 days to get there. He probably could have gotten there faster, but you see, in the Jewish tradition, in the Hebrew thought, when someone died and took their last breath, that was possible, and the thinking was that their spirit, there was like kind of an aura about them, that life was still there for about 3 days. So Jesus waited till the 4th day to get there to make sure that he would prove to the people that Lazarus was really dead, since there was a stench in the tomb, that this was not just something that was false, but he was really dead, and the incredible miracle of raising him to life. In 2 weeks, we're going to be celebrating Easter Sunday. I just say, be prepared that Sunday. It's going to be one of those wonderful Sunday mornings when we welcome many people who join us. Praise the Lord, who maybe don't worship with us all the time. And I know that everyone's going to be very hospitable and make sure that we give up perhaps our regular pew wherever it is that we sit. You might not get the end seat that weekend that you always cherish and love with your name on it there. So it'll be Easter Sunday, and we celebrate the joy of Easter. But on that day, we celebrate Jesus who rose himself from the dead. But see, for Lazarus needed Jesus to do it for him. So big difference between Lazarus' resurrection and Jesus' resurrection. But again, this is something that happens in all of our lives, and it's something we're going to have to face, whether it be the death of a grandparent or of a friend or maybe of a parent or spouse, a family member. And at that time, I hope that we will always be able to see the church as a place that we converge upon to have the beauty of hope for the future. In our parish, we're very blessed. Very blessed because when someone is ill, we have the ability in our faith as well to go and to anoint people. And I hope that you don't wait till the last minute. Some people always refer to it as last rites. But I hope that when someone in your family dies, that's not someone is dying, that right at that moment, it's not the first time we're meeting them. Much better for us to have a relationship with the person throughout an illness. Now, if there's a tragic death, that's not possible to do. But it is very good because we're able to develop a relationship with the family. So if someone in your family is sick, don't hesitate to call and ask for a priest to go and to anoint them, or for pastoral care to be able to be given to them, to be able to have communion brought to the home. We try to visit the hospitals as best as we can, and the ones in our particular area we take care of and we share with some of the other local parishes, so you may have someone from another parish visit you at that time. When someone dies, it's also appropriate to let the parish know. Some people wonder, well, what do I do when someone passes away? One of the first things is to call the funeral home. And then the funeral home works with us here at the parish in terms of setting an appropriate time and to be able to make the services something that are special for you and your family. Whenever someone dies, I think we can have confidence that God has taken care of that person. And whatever you plan as a family, it's unique for your family. Whether you want to have a mass, maybe you have something at the funeral home, something in our Chapel of the Angels. No matter what it is, it's to honor the deceased person and to help your family be able to embrace the beauty of hope, to be able to embrace what our gospel talks about today, to believe. We have a wonderful bereavement ministry here at Annunciation, and we are here to walk that journey with you. So I just want to kind of make sure that you're not afraid, that when someone passes away, we here at the church are here to work with you and to help you in that process. We have funerals in the morning. We have funerals sometimes in the afternoon. We do not charge for funerals. And we do not charge. We don't say, well, it's $100 for this and $100 for that and $100 for this and whatnot. I would never want the church to put a financial burden on your family for any reason. You may wish to make a donation in honor of the deceased loved one, but certainly any fees you work out with the funeral home, but we here do not, for the music, the use of the church, whatever it is. That's your choice. Also, some people often ask, and it's become very popular, so just a couple practical things that when someone passes away, well, Father, can we have a luncheon afterward? And yes, that is very possible to do. We look at what facilities we have, how many people you have coming, and we do not charge for that either. But I know you need a gathering place, so we try to work that out. We don't provide the food for you, because I think that's something that there's a lot of picky eaters today, including myself. So I kind of think that we let you get your own food, but we're happy to provide the place. So I want to make sure that if you ever have to face a death in your family, and you have to work with us here at Annunciation, as your pastor and as on behalf of all of the priests, I want to make sure it's a really good and positive experience, and I think it will be. I hope that in recent times, if you've had a death in your family, that it is something that has helped bring comfort to you, and it's not something that you are afraid of. Because it is here in this place that we gather as a family, that we bury the dead, that we honor the gift of life, and we bring the hope of resurrection. Once again, we may have a lot of fears in our life. We may be afraid of passing from this world into the next. And we do not know the day, we do not know the hour. But certainly what we do know is that we can have hope for the future. And if we truly believe, as Jesus spoke to the family of Lazarus about, and to the people who were there, if we believe, then we have nothing to worry about.